Welcome to the very first premiere inaugural episode of Turn the Page. We're here to talk a lot about comics. Kind of have a coffee talk set up going on for us here, but mostly we want to talk about comics. We're here to talk about comic book history, artists, writers. Of course, for all those true believers out there, we're going to bring up Stan Lee probably more than once and a lot. Me personally, I think he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, posthumous. If you believe in that as well, you should like, subscribe, and share your opinions on it. My name is Tony Stevens. I'm going to basically be the chairman of this here kind show. And to my left here is John McClay.
How do you do?
Artist extraordinaire, filmographer, editor, chief brain. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it.
Beard guy?
I'll take beard guy and I'll take chief brain.
Yeah. He's the Keanu Reeves of our group. I look at him as sex appeal.
You're the Tony Stark.
Yeah, definitely. I'm star power, man. Star power all the way. And to my right here, more importantly, is Ronnie Shanks. Hello. The adorable sidekick. He's here because he knows a lot of things about a lot of things that you may think you know about, but absolutely don't. And hopefully we can start clearing up some of those topics over time. We can start informing people about comic books and what stories came from before they hit the movies, the big screens, and turn it into what we've seen them become. And sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes forgettable. But before we do that, I want to get a little bit into just who we are, how we got attached to this very specific field of entertainment and literature. Because I really view it that way. You know, growing up, for me personally, I grew up here in Memphis, Tennessee. I had very intelligent older sisters, come from very intelligent people, teachers and musicians, officers in the military. So there was a lot of things for me where I felt maybe I should read these big books that they had, you know, sitting up on the shelf until I got a little older and realized none of them actually read War and Peace. It's just there as a bookend.
Oh yeah.
It just holds the other books up. And honestly, personally, yeah, exactly. And my dad actually, when I was growing up, there was a laundry room back behind the kitchen, and there were all the boxes. And I would sneak into the laundry room and open the boxes, and right there I remember laying right on top was an Uncanny X-Men issue, and it had Wolverine, and he was laying down, he's got all these wires and stuff going into him, and it's like a red paneled cover, and I can't remember specifically which issue it was, but I remember it was the one where the Reavers are hunting him down, and the Power Pack has to help him survive being attacked by the Reavers and Lady Deathstrike. And it was a great one-off issue that had no setup to it, and it had no follow-through after, except to let you know that these were the Reavers, he was being hunted in New York, and he went wild when they pushed him.
It was great to like jump into.
Yeah, it was my first little taste. You know, those were the little things that I would get to see, and it was almost like a hidden thing. You know, it's hidden in the back room, you can't really talk about it, but man, I would just go be in the laundry room for hours on end just looking at the covers, not touching them, because my dad had very specific rules about wearing gloves, you can't put oils on the pages, all that stuff.
So he collected comics?
Oh yeah, big time.
See, no one in my family collected comics. I was aware of them. I think it was other media that introduced me to comics. So I was like 8, I was big into Ninja Turtles, as were all 8-year-olds. And so I was into the cartoon, and I was unaware where they came from. It came from a comic book, and that's what got me aware of things like comics. And I didn't even pick up the real ones because I didn't know anything. I picked up the Archie Ninja Turtles based on the cartoon.
Right, not the actual.
Like it's come full circle, you know.
Not the real Eastman and Laird stuff. The actual, just like, oh, this was the episode you watched.
Yeah, it's the Archie. Basically, like just kind of like the colored bands. But I through that, like once I was aware of comics, like I started kind of, I guess, part of my brain kept a lookout and was more aware of superheroes and stuff. And then I saw a comic book with what appeared to be all the superheroes. Like, I was like, well, this sounds like a good book to get into comic books with. And it had this big fist on the cover. And and little lines going everywhere, and everywhere cut, like there'd be a different like kind of section of what would be the Marvel universe.
Right.
And I saw like I saw people I knew, I saw people I didn't know, and it piqued my interest. And so I opened it up, you know, and just the first few pages, Thanos and what appeared to be the devil, you know, right off the bat I'm into it. And then like, you know, the premise in the first few pages hooked me, and that's basically what got me.
That's a pretty big astrophysical
Yeah.
concept too, just in that issue.
Oh yeah,
those first few
I
issues
think I
alone.
was maybe, I want to say it was like 11.
Right, everybody else is reading like To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
I don't think Boo Radley was teaching us about quantum physics or.
No. Well, I mean, it's very like philosophical, like at least for like, you know, a 10-year-old, the idea of becoming a god.
Right.
You know,
Right,
having
yeah.
godlike powers. But yeah, like that got me into it, and so like since then I've been aware of comic books, and it's just kind of built on it. And I was into art, so that's also I was into art prior to that, which is strange. I never got into comic books, but it just kind of veered the type of stuff I did in that direction.
See, that was a big thing for me personally. I know as a kid, I really loved art. I loved drawing. I loved making up things. And a lot of times there was a comic magazine that came out. It was called Wizard. I don't know.
Oh
if y'all
yeah,
know
Oh my
it.
God,
yeah.
yeah.
I loved Wizard. I always wanted to have Wizard because I get all these images, news releases, things that I may not have been
Just the
collecting.
art.
The art
Oh my God.
alone, and it was great because it would inspire whatever I was doing. And I would sit there and I'd draw, and I'd keep on trying to perfect that little art form. And so for the longest time, I didn't even really read that much. I was just like, flip, 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 good panel, flip, 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 excellent pose, good shading, John Byrne, oh my God, hello, can you be my godfather? Things like that. So it wasn't until later that I started piecing things together and then putting stories together and then really getting interested in the writers too. And from your viewpoint, because you know, I know that you got a degree a lot focusing in English and in writing.
Right.
So I find it funny, I've actually got an artist here and a writer, and I'd like to see what really sucked you in first on comic books, what got your goat on it
Well,
initially.
That basically had to be my older brother. He was he's 13 years older than I am. He helped raise me and stuff like that with, you know, the mom and dad. Dad's a truck driver, so he's gone all the time. And I don't know any nursery rhymes because he read me comics. And it's like someone's like, if this literally happened in school, they're like,
Yeah.
so what nursery rhyme do you know? Superman, Panic in the Sky.
Look, a bird, a plane. Yeah.
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
It's just, man, I've been a fan since way back when. And it just like from there, and then you had Batman the Animated Series, X-Men Animated Series, and
The early 90s.
the early 90s. Oh my God, just all animation from there. And even the stuff that didn't make it, like the CBS X-Men special.
Pride of the X-Men.
Yeah, with Australian Wolverine.
Australian Wolverine, loved it. Crikey!
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, it's great. I still have it on VHS. I'll have to break out my VCRs.
Is it like a completely different production?
It's so much better,
It
I
is.
think.
Yeah, the animation is superb because
Same-
it's
same
from
period.
it's
Like
from
90s.
Well, but it's based on the actual art, the look and appeal of each of the characters is very much so the original Chris Claremont run of the Uncanny X-Men. Like, so Cyclops has the full blue get up. It's not the 90s revamp. It's like the original X-Men. And this is Kitty Pryde first being introduced into the team and the hijinks that follow and ensue. But
It's just the one episode.
it's just
Just
one, like,
one.
what was it, like 45 an hour?
Something like
It was
that.
like a
yeah,
pilot.
Yeah. And it started out with like a theme song, X-Men, X-Men, save the day.
Yeah.
And there was like the
You have a lovely singing voice.
I don't think. Not many people say that to me at all.
They don't have.
Just the ones I date and you.
Oh.
I guess we're dating now.
No.
You'll have to break up with the
Sorry.
producer because that's the only way you got on this show. No, but anyway, yeah, it was a great. Somebody actually asked me earlier today why I would still have something as archaic as VCR, and I told her, I said, yeah, of course I have a VCR. What about my VHS tapes? Go get them on DVD. Things like that
You know, we
don't
should, like,
come to
digitize those for you. We should do that, just in case something happens.
I feel like this just opened up a new segue into our relationship. We can digitize my old VHS tapes. That would be nice, just in case.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way.
But I'd like to be able to keep.
Your VCR has HDMI out, right?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. And it'll be easy.
I'm going to make a believer of myself in the fact that I know what that means.
But yeah, it's like on top of that as well, it's like, I mean, my brother also collected action figures, and this is a story I haven't really told anyone yet. I actually got in trouble from him. He left one day, and all these action figures were hanging on the wall, still in their packages.
Oh no.
All the ones within reach.
Yeah.
He came home and they were opened, and my mom opened the door. At first, she was like, "Oh my god."
So wait, no one knows it was you?
No, he knows.
Oh, yeah.
My brother, when he came home, he was just like, "You need to leave the room."
Just, I love you so much, I'm not going to kill you.
Yeah, he's like, "I need you to leave."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I felt so bad for that." And yes, I do open all my action figures.
I do, yeah, to the day.
If I had action figures, I would.
But
I feel like you'd be into it if you.
I mean, I have a
just
little bit.
my little, like, obviously, I like
That's more than
collections and
anything
things
I
like
have,
that,
yeah.
and I like posing them. I like doing things with it. It's like to me, it's almost like making that artistic picture and getting it to do what I want it to do, so I can have it for that picture.
Well,
My mind, you know.
Yeah, you can use it as artistic reference.
Right. I could do that too, but it's almost like I get a sense of completion once I've done it. Like whatever I have boiling in here,
Oh, yeah.
it gives me that kind of, that release that I need to say, okay, art's been made, it's been funny, I've made a meme, I've sent it out to everyone I know. Some of them chuckled, some of them forgot to like, some of them will get my message later telling them you've wasted my time today, I thought I entertained you, and apparently I
Yeah,
have not.
I have that problem where I like want to do something, I have an idea for something, and then I tell somebody, hey, this is my idea, and what do you think? And they're like, oh, that sounds amazing, you're a genius. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And that was
That was enough.
That's enough. I don't
That was
have to do it.
Well, yeah, I don't even have to do it.
I don't have to
got
do it.
all the
yeah.
congratulations
So, yeah, I
and
can
cheers.
relate to that.
Yeah.
But actually, at the same time, it keeps me from doing a lot of things that would be very interesting to do.
Maybe if we had less friends,
Yeah.
we'd be more
Or if
creative.
people were dicks to us or something like that.
PG-13?
Yeah, PG-13.
Something like that, yeah. Sporting goods.
Yeah.
Dick's Sporting Goods. Shop for all the things you need. Baseball gloves to shotguns. Thank you. Welcome to the South. No,
Yeah, just
but,
don't be so like congratulatory of your friends.
yeah, don't tell them they're great.
Well, don't tell them
Not until
like,
they're done.
don't tell them they're like no good. If they're an artist, like don't say like you might as well quit now. Don't tell them they suck or anything like that. But don't just give them empty praise.
Right.
Yes,
Like-
no, don't ever
This is
do
for
that.
you, Mom. No.
Yeah, no, moms give empty praise. That's what they're there.
That's
for.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about that nowadays. This they like to say with the generational gaps that are going on, which you know you and I are. I guess you're a little bit older than me. I'm mid-range, and you're a little younger than me.
Yeah.
But they say that the parents raised them all on these empty congratulations. You're great. You're special. You're unique. You don't have to conform to anything. And sometimes I kind of wish my parents had been like, "You're not so great. Maybe if you tried a little harder, I'd give you more love." And by now, I'd actually be done with my graphic novel, prose, whatever, you know, that I've been moving on to. Mark Miller, watch out, I'm coming. You know. Actually, we do have questions open, so I want to see if we can go towards the computer and see if
This
anybody has
is
some
my
questions.
specific question, actually.
Oh,
I
okay.
have any of you actually? You mentioned your own graphic novel. Have any of you actually tried to make your own? I mean, obviously nothing printed or anything, but
Right.
just made something just on
To
your
complete
own.
a story.
Fun. Yeah.
Yes.
You want to elaborate that?
I'm going to. I'm prepping myself for it. The first one I actually did, I was 7 years old, and it was the Ninja Turtles versus a giant.
Oh, cool.
It was
Like a one shot.
It was very much so one shot, but I was completely set on the fact that most of the comic books I had, if you took all the ads out of it, was about 22 pages. So if you're going to make a story, it had to be 22 pages. And you could only have 1 or 2 full screenshots. So everything else had to be broken down into a
Unless it's the
5.
'90s. If you
Oh yeah, you do like
Yeah.
freaking
half of it
spreads.
are splash pages.
Yeah, you only got so much of a story really. It's like Wolverine woke up and said, "Good morning, bud." That's all that happened in the actual issue. But no, so yeah, I did a 22-page Ninja Turtles versus the Giant. The Giant was, I don't know.
You have a lot of original characters.
I do actually, yeah. I was very intent on the fact that you couldn't plagiarize or steal because I was obsessed with those little symbols, the little copyright symbol and the TN
You
trademark.
know how to copyright something? All you have to do
I
is
write that on
write
there.
that little symbol and you
Yeah.
publish it, and that's copyright.
That's what I do.
Oh, yeah.
That's I always write it on there for all my individual creations.
So it's like Marvel tries to use your character.
Yeah,
and
hey
copy
dude,
it.
right there. I dated this. That's an ink, man. You can't erase it.
I was told like you know, if you're going to submit your work to a comic book company for review, like, you know, to be hired, to not submit your original characters.
Right. Always do it in their character. It's kind of like when you show up for a job interview. Wear the colors of that employer. So you know how Best Buy has blue. They wear the blue polos.
Oh, really?
and stuff like
Like, so
that.
you
Show up in their colors so that
Never
they can
thought of that.
already picture you in their
Yeah.
uniform. You're already like that step closer. So if you're sending something to Marvel, don't send them your own personal Green Lantern comic. Send them their own Marvel characters.
Yeah.
They want to see what you can do with their stuff.
Right.
And in regards to your own stuff, like you have your own character, the way, and I think it was Todd McFarlane was talking about this, you know, DC or Marvel, they don't know what that particular character that you've invented looks like, a good rendition of him looks like.
Yeah,
right?
that's the
Because
only
he's the
way.
original character. Like, there's no other example of him other than the example you've given. So he could be a perfect rendition of him. They want to see your version of Batman, your version of Fantastic Four, because they know what that's supposed to look like. And if it doesn't mesh with the way they want it to look, then they're not going to hire you.
Right, exactly. Well, because I mean, working for the industry like that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, just from the experience your brothers had and everything, but they want you to be able to be a printer, a copy printer, almost.
Oh, it's like the Marvel.
If you're drawing me the thing, I want them this shape. I want them orange. I want them with those little octagon pebbles in him. I don't want this new jagged, rocky looking, whether it looks cool or not. I don't want this new version of the thing. I want the thing.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah,
the other
that's-
loving blue white thing.
Yeah, there's usually like some kind of
Unless he's
cohesiveness
gonna
with
give a
it,
license.
unless it's like a, you know, your offshoots, like your Elseworlds or
Ultimate Comics.
Ultimate Comics, was it the DC Earth One stuff? It's-
Or your Marvel Comics
Good
present,
Lord.
and they just
Cyborg
do whatever you
Sandman.
want.
Right.
Sam Keith,
Showcase.
You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're like that, but yeah, like I do think that, I mean, their editors are like, no, this is the direction we're going, this is how it has to look, and it's this way in pretty much every medium. Like you just can't do your own thing as an artist. You have to work within, like it's a community coming together to build this thing that no individual could do. by
Well,
themselves.
now, except for, this was one thing I really loved. I was a very short child, so I couldn't reach that top shelf at the comic book store that had Vertigo, but the DC imprint Vertigo.
Oh yeah.
When they were coming out with things there, especially anything by Neil Gaiman.
Oh my God, Sandman stuff was so good.
So
Those kind of
cool.
collaborations were always
So
great,
cool.
like Neil Gaiman and Dave McKean,
Right.
Sandman stuff.
I mean, you also have the Lin Wein and Bernie Wright's and Swamp Thing stuff. That was just
Swamp Thing, it was really out there. It was so strange. But again, like you were saying before, this is my rendition of my character. So when he started bringing to the forefront different things, especially his work on within the Sandman series, there's Lucifer. And I love the Lucifer character.
Mm-hmm.
The way he presented him, the way he did it. And it was going to his hell was very unique. It was a lot like how Todd McFarlane's hell looked when he was doing the Spawn kind
You think there's influence at all?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't think that Neil Gaiman was ever influenced by anyone but his own.
I was thinking the other way around.
Oh, maybe.
I don't remember exactly the timing.
Well, there was a lot of lawsuits between the two of them, so I think they're at peace now.
Yeah.
I don't want to get it started up again because I know that Todd McFarlane's going to watch our show. He really is. I hope you do. Big fan, big believer.
Love your shop, man.
I just love Todd McFarlane. I think that he's just great. He's a businessman. That's the first and foremost what's great about him. He's a businessman.
I recommend dropping by his shop in Phoenix too. It's really cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, they have like their own studio. They also have like a little shop there. I think it's still there. I'm not sure.
Tom McFarlane has a comic book shop.
Well, it wasn't like really a comic shop, but it had like a. It's where the studio was, like in Phoenix. And they also have. You can buy like the Spawn figures and stuff like that there too. I actually have like a little trading card deck set at the house I got from that.
Wow.
It's really cool.
Things you don't know. See, I figured I would have to go to Toronto or something to find McFarlane World.
Phoenix.
I really do. I mean, I think that was what was so great for me when I was young about him. 92, started getting into Spawn, started collecting these things, the comic books, and then all of a sudden, without a TV show, without a movie, guess what he has? Action figure toy line.
Mm-hmm.
And it's his own production, so he can do whatever he wanted. I could have an action figure that had his face peel off. Are you kidding me? I can call up my grandma, sweet little lady, and say, Grandma, this is exactly what I want for Christmas. Give out lists, and by the end of the Christmas day, which is supposed to be a bright, cheery, beautiful holiday, I have so many undead zombies, demons, Spawn figures, chains, spikes, skulls, and it's like, I'm in heaven. I don't know about you guys, but that was great for me. I loved all that sort of stuff. But the fact that this guy had Spider-Man under his belt, he had Batman under his belt, and then he goes over here and basically makes the Spider-Bat, Spawn,
Yeah.
and then makes his own toy line. And then eventually, of course, he had his own movie come out. John Leguizamo as a clown, I still find hilarious to the day. You just got my own agent,
No, I think
man.
he did a good job.
Great.
I like John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo was really awesome.
I always
Yeah,
wondered
Michael
if
J. White.
it was just the timing. McFarlane just was right place, right time, or if like things were fundamentally shifting, or if like he actually influenced the toy market. So, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like nowadays a lot of the toy market there's a whole section just for adults buying. Like,
Oh yeah.
childhood.
Oh, adult collectibles.
Yeah.
The
Did that
boxes
start-
didn't
did
say
that-
all that.
yeah.
I think that
Did it
Todd
start with
McFarlane
McFarlane?
did that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Mhm.
Because he had lines, I mean, first he was
Yeah.
releasing some, they were like, okay, go ahead, get them off the shelf, kid plays with it. It's great. There was even a commercial on TV, I remember, a little toy spot. There's a kid playing with these horrific demons. And it's like, that's
Do you
amazing.
remember the first line of toys? So like there's different, before like McFarlane Toys like started to like dip their toys in like black ink, there's these like really kind of plasticky, colorful
Yeah.
versions.
Oh yeah.
Like, I want those. Like,
They were great. I had a lot of them. I still have a whole bunch of Spawn stuff,
I
just
don't know,
because he is a huge.
I'm
I'm curious about the transition between those.
I'm sure that he actually, Todd McFarlane, if you see this, once you see this, actually, not if, but when, we would really be interested in you releasing a documentary video on your entire endeavor into the toy industry. Actually, if Netflix could hire some more writers and cinematographers to continue their show, the toys that made
The
us.
Toys That Made Us.
That was
It'd be-
a great little
It
series.
could be
That'd
like
be
a
a great
one
McFarlane
off.
special.
It could be a special version, like, you know, special.
The
episode.
McFarlane that made us.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. He went from Spawn, which I still have the medieval Spawn.
Oh yeah.
I have that still in the package.
I
That
have-
one I didn't open.
Left that one pristine.
Yes. But I mean, he went from that, and did you hear what happened this year? He got the license to start doing DC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did hear about that. That is,
So-
that is
So
pretty good.
McFarland Toys is making DC.
He'll be doing a lot of their, what they originally used to call DC Direct, which was their nothing but adult collectors getting.
So he's gonna be doing more stuff like this guy? or-
Well, probably something like that.
More
or-
like Deadpool.
Right, opposables.
Is he supposed to be in Professor X's chair like that?
In my world, he is.
So what? So where is Professor Xavier?
Wouldn't you like to know? Some people, actually somebody asked me, because I had a few different pictures that I posted, one where he was sitting in that chair and one where he's sitting in the big yellow 1990s
Yeah,
Professor
yeah.
X chair.
That's the one I remember from the show.
And my cousin Michael, he messaged me and he said, look, I've got 2 questions. I said, shoot, I'm always open with you. And he's like, did the Deadpools come with the chairs? And if not, what happened to Charlie? And I said, you don't want to know what Wade did to him, and leave it at that.
I like his thought that the Deadpool might have come with the chair. I like
Yeah,
that.
like somebody thought that
Yeah.
through enough. I would have done that. I mean, if I was on the
Oh yeah, if
toy
I saw
industry.
if I saw Deadpool sitting on a chair like that, just like that, in molded plastic, sitting on a shelf, I'd be like, I'd be curious.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
okay,
no, it
yeah,
would
yeah.
make sense to me.
It would make
I would have to look on the back to see why is he sitting in a Nick Xavier chair.
Well, think about what was that?
If there was a
Deadpool
little comic book that came with it.
Yeah.
The second one?
Yeah,
Where
where
he's
he was-
rolling around the house in the wheelchair. I think that's kind of initially what inspired
Oh,
me.
I gotcha.
And then from there, a lot of these things come with vehicles or whatnot. Logan had a big motorcycle, so it just became an issue of what can Deadpool take from everyone else?
That's
And
perfect.
he kind of runs rampant throughout my collection, just taking things from people and making whatever he wants his.
Did you ever read the comic books that came with the toys?
I did.
Yes.
I used
They're
to
like little
love them.
tiny,
Yeah,
like
little
sound
action
percent,
ones,
like
yeah.
that.
There was actually a
Love
Mortal
those.
Kombat series. I feel like they had the little comic with it too, back in the day.
I didn't get any of those.
Not sure if they had the comics or not, but there were Mortal Kombat comics.
Yeah, there
So
were,
then,
there were so many different things back
And they
then.
had the, oh my god, the animation, that was terrible. Yeah, old Mortal Kombat VHS tape, like Defenders of the Realm or something like that. That's like,
Oh,
it's like
sure.
all like,
I know what you're talking about.
they tried to do Mortal Kombat in the style of the 60s Marvel cartoons, like Incredible Hulk and stuff.
Right.
It did not go well, but the CG animation and stuff that they did between Sub-Zero and versus Scorpion was fun.
Yeah, it was a real weird mix of animation styles, and it wasn't good.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
It's still fun. I'd probably still watch it again.
Speaking of a movie,
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
that was a great movie when that came out.
Oh, God, yeah.
Mortal Kombat, the first one, just talking about the first one, but everybody's sitting in the movie theater and all of a sudden it's that and it's like, oh, Mortal Kombat, and then like Scorpion in that movie, I don't even know if he was an actor. I don't even think anybody cared if it was an actor. Nowadays it's like, who's gonna play my Wolverine? Well, I'll tell you, he can't be my Wolverine. There's only one Wolverine and nobody else can do it. And I'll tell you that, Jack. Nobody cared who that was. They
Yeah.
just thought it was awesome to see Scorpion on the screen.
Chris Casamassa. But yeah.
Okay, well, he knows, but you didn't, I didn't, I guarantee the producer didn't know. Well, he had a computer, he could have looked it up, but I mean, wow, now that's a
Were
fan.
those in Mortal Kombat, were they actors or they hired martial artists?
Yeah,
More
right,
of
we're
a
still-
hired martial artist. So I mean, like right now they're not really in things. They're sometimes you might see them in things. They were on something on Disney Channel or Cartoon Network. Can't remember.
Mhm.
Some kind of live action
It's
martial
called
arts.
Power Rangers?
No, it was not
Oh,
Power Rangers.
okay.
I have no idea what it was. The name escapes me, but they're mostly like choreographers and stuff like that. And this, I bet y'all didn't know, in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the stunt double for Raiden was Ray Park.
Yeah, Toad.
Darth Maul. Yeah.
Well, if you want, whatever you want to call him. I call him Toad. You can
Toad.
call him
Oh
that.
yeah, he was Toad.
Yeah, he was Toad, he was Darth Maul, he was pretty much
Oh, right, no,
everything.
he was also the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean before Christopher Walken got his head back?
Huh? No, he did the stunt version.
Right, he was the stunt guy, but then Christopher Walken,
I
right? We're
guess-
talking about the
yeah,
same one.
The headless one.
Yeah.
Not the headless.
He doesn't really get to talk,
Yeah.
which is bad because I really wanted him to. He's like,
Yeah.
whoa, where you going? I've got my head back. Let's go potty. That's all I wanted to
Or you
do.
could overdub him. You should go back and do that.
I'm going to.
That'd be
Like,
fun.
we'll
Just whenever he turns his head and you can't see his lips move.
right, the teeth are just like,
Yeah,
it's
so you
like,
could say something.
hey,
Or
how's
you
it
could
going?
do like a deep fake version of it where you just make them do whatever you want.
Right?
Yeah.
Seth Green should get involved in this. Robot Chicken should give Christopher Walken a whole dialogue for the Headless Horseman. Please do that. Thank you. Mila Kunis, if you need to get that message to him, please do so. Ashton Kutcher can write him. Whatever we need to do. Seth Green, pay attention. But honestly, and I think I know what you kind of already touched base on this, but I want to get back to a point of what was for you a defining comic book storyline? The one thing that maybe is just ingrained in your mind or in your heart for probably the rest of your life, and you're getting towards the end of it with how old you are. I mean, you were in prom, right?
Yeah.
But no, like what was a big defining story that just kind of imprinted into you? This is comics. This is.
I mean, it's gonna have to be the Infinity Gauntlet because that was when I was so young.
Right, impressionable.
It was my first kind of experience with a comic. Oh, we appear to have a question.
No, I was just telling you, that's 30-minute mark.
Oh, we got the 30-minute mark.
We're at 30 minutes, and they didn't think we could put up with you.
I didn't think that I could put up with me. 30 minutes.
But no, so okay, so for him, Infinity Gauntlet, which is great one. I really do like that one. I remember the cover. I remember flipping
Yeah.
through the first issue, and it was like people disappeared. I didn't know then.
I didn't know who
People could
were.
come back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, like things were gone to me at that time. That was it. They
Mhm.
destroyed comic books at that time.
It's
It was
it's
slow.
cliche now. I think.
Yeah, it is. It's
But
kind
like,
of
I mean,
wild.
that was my first foray into the comic book universe,
Right.
Marvel in particular.
Like when Batman's back was broken, that's it. Whoever this Jean Pon Valley guy is,
Yeah,
on
I
Batman,
thought that
that's
was
it forever.
Yeah.
Like Bruce Wayne's done. That was my dad's
Oh,
Batman.
Superman
now I know.
died. See, I guess he's dead now.
Definitely.
Never coming back.
So for you, what do you think would just be the epitome of what, like he said, what was making that engraved impression on you out of comic books?
What's the
story,
first thing that
what
comes to
issue?
your mind?
Man. I have to pick just one.
Well, just what seems the most.
Well, which was the first?
Yeah, the
What was
first.
the first
It's
one?
kind of like the first love.
I gotta lean forward for this.
Like the first one, like really was, I guess it made an impression on me. It's like, well, yes, Panic in the Sky was read to me. I still hardly can recall it. But the one that made like a really big impression on me when I was little was Crisis on Infinite Earths and like the Anti-Monitor and everybody. and
Barry
stuff.
Allen.
I'm
Yeah,
having
Barry Allen
flashbacks
dying.
right now.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, wow, it's like, this is where Wally came in. And even though I grew up when Wally was the Flash, Barry Allen was still my favorite because of that and the 90s TV show. But
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. I love that.
it's like that
I
was,
like how they tied it in.
Velvet suit.
but I was still really young then, so it's like it stuck in. It's like, wow, this is kind of fun. And then the death of Superman happened, which I really started to get me in there. I was getting all the Superman figures and stuff like that. And Doomsday, man, I'm all hunting down that Superman Doomsday 2-pack everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
To listen to you talk about it, I'm starting to get flashbacks of like other comic book experiences
Yeah.
in my youth. Like I remember this cover to Crisis, and it's just ingrained. And then there was Death in the Family. I completely
Yeah.
forgotten that they killed Robin.
He's just holding them. But there was a call in
But he
that
came
issue.
back later.
Oh, way later.
Yeah,
But that was
way
back
later.
in the days where things stayed dead.
He was
for a while.
supposed to
Yeah.
have been dead forever.
But
Like,
did y'all know that it's like people, they had a vote.
That's what I'm talking about. It was the
Yeah.
call-in issue.
whether
Yeah,
it was the
whether-
Joker or whether it was going to be Robin.
No,
I think
no,
they knew.
No, rather Robin was.
Yeah, they said, what do you want? And
Oh,
so they
really?
had a like a 1-800 number. You
Yeah, I
call
remember
in.
that. I thought it
You
was
let
like-
us know. We're gonna either keep this Robin or kill him. And everybody said, kill him.
It
And
wasn't-
so that's why when he comes back in that issue,
Yeah.
he's mad in a Deadpool breaking the fourth wall sense. Everybody.
Yeah,
Nobody liked me. Oh, Dick Grayson's so amazing.
he is.
You know. But Red Hood to me is great. Now, Jason Todd as Robin wasn't. But Red Hood as a character, love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So sometimes you need that tragedy to make things work. And I know what you're coming from because for me, I remember it was third grade. And the issue had been released with the bleeding Superman symbol. And that,
The black cover,
oh
the
yeah,
bag.
yeah.
Don't open it, it's gonna be worth money.
Yeah, everybody, you gotta get one and then read one.
When I opened it and looked at it, read it, put it back, and tried to seal it back.
Super glue.
Yeah, I think I used super glue.
Because in our minds that works.
Yeah, it did
It
work.
does,
It did
yeah.
work. Don't super glue those bags back together.
No, but yeah, that came out, and I had a buddy named David. He came to
You gotta
school.
heat seal it.
He was
That's
the
how you do it.
super cool guy. He had the skull earring, you know, that stuff. It's like, oh, you're so cool for being in third grade. But he came with that issue. And man, all of us were blown away. We were on like the verge of tears in school, like, Superman's dead. I don't know if you know this or not. And then for 2 weeks after that, and this isn't the first or last time this happened, but I wore a 3-piece suit to school for weeks. Weeks. I was in mourning.
I was a little bit older when that happened, so I didn't like weep.
Yeah, like I said, I guess I could have been older and maybe I still would have done it. The first time I did it, I thought I was James Bond Jr.
I did wear the suit though.
Second
Out of
time I did it,
respect.
yeah. But it had to be a 3-piece.
Wasn't there like an armband you could wear?
Well, black
Wait, did
with
it
the
come with the
Superman?
bag? What? There's stuff in the bag.
There was
You
stuff
remember
in the bag. I cannot remember directly.
Sean,
Can you look up
yeah.
and see what we had that were the special editions of the Death of Superman?
Like what came in the black bag?
Yeah. Because I know that
It was more than just a comic book.
it was.
And the bag was
well, like
full of
hollow
stuff.
foils and stuff like that.
Cards? Was there like Superman
sure.
dead
Almost
cards?
everything was. I mean,
I feel like
I
there's an
remember there was
armband.
a huge marketing push for all that stuff.
I remember everybody in the comics was wearing an armband, but I kind of
Yeah.
feel like there was one.
I feel like there was an armband in.
If there
the bag.
wasn't, I feel like we should have one now.
Yeah.
Sorry, special editions Death of Superman. What?
It's like a black bag edition.
It was a black
Yeah.
bag edition. It came in a plastic bag, already sealed. You weren't supposed to open it.
But
You weren't supposed to.
But
open
man,
it.
You weren't supposed to.
It's a comic book for you to read, kid.
Well, it's like my
Don't
dad
read
got
it.
me this Batman, and I wanted the Adam West Batman action figure. He had like the karate chop thing you could do.
oh yeah,
And so at the comic book shop, I cannot remember the name of it. When I was young, there used to be a Batman painted on the side of the building. So I knew when we were getting
I know
there,
where you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's on
it was in Midtown or something.
no. It was near Fraser.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was like when you were coming up on the side of the building was that giant gray and blue Batman painted right there on the
And
side.
there's
of
an
the
arcade in there too.
Yes!
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I love that place. My dad would take me there whenever he had me. We'd get on the motorcycle.
I think it was off Hollywood.
Was it?
I think so. It was over there.
I feel like that's a scary place to take me now, but at the
Now,
time,
yeah.
it was great. So we got there, put that thing, reserved it, and my dad, all I was supposed to do was get off work, go pick it up, because it was reserved. All I had to do was go get it. Now, my dad's great, but I don't think he got there in time.
I feel like there's a butt coming out there.
Yeah, because I didn't get the Adam West Batman. What I got instead was like a Mezco giant 1989 Michael Keaton Batman.
Oh, that's
Right?
cool. That's
So
cool.
no, it's really cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like he was like, "Urgh, I didn't get that one because it got sold, but I'll get him something way better so he can't complain, right? So he gives it to me. And he says, no, son, there's one rule. Now, you have to imagine, my dad kind of sounds like the rooster from Looney Tunes, but very professional because he went to...
Does he have a stutter?
No, it's just like, look here, son,
Yeah.
I want you to understand something. You can't open this. And at the time, I'm like 6, and you've lost your mind, you know.
It's
But
a toy, you know.
I agreed. I was like, I'm never gonna open it, Dad. I swear. And so I put it under my bed, and there it sat until he left. Mom was asleep. I even checked on my sister. I poke it because we have bunk beds.
Yeah.
You know, maybe Freddy Krueger got her. I didn't know. I just poke. No, she's not awake. And that's that's when I got really good at sneaking around. My future in the Marine Corps was solidified by him telling me not to open that Batman toy, because I got really good at sneaking, taking the tape and just peeling it up, taking it out, playing with it a little bit, and then putting
I was
it
like-
back, everything perfectly back the way it was.
Just like Superman Black Bag, take it out,
Yeah, reseal it.
reseal it, heat seal it.
I did not do that with my brother's
Yeah.
figures. He was just sad.
Okay.
Well, what do you got for us?
You were asking about the black bag, or was
Yeah.
it the black bag special edition?
Correct.
From what I can see is it looks like obviously the comic. It has like a fake newspaper.
Oh yeah, the
Oh.
newspaper where he was announced as
Yeah,
dead.
there's a
Yeah.
obituary.
Yeah.
There's some kind of a silver. It looks kind of like a tombstone. It says, "Here lies the greatest hero." Some kind of a card. It looks like.
Oh, those old fleers.
Yeah, it says Doomsday, the Death of Superman trading cards. And
Like,
then-
were they all different, or do we all get the same card?
I think we all got the same.
So how are we
Yes,
gonna trade them?
You can't.
I'll trade you my card for, oh, it's the exact same card.
That's
Well,
kind of
it's-
like when you remember when X-Men did that Magneto storyline.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the
it's
holo
escaping
cards.
the holo
Yeah.
cards all over. And right now my brain's farting.
Oh, you're talking about the comics
DC
that had the
did
card
that
like
too. It's-
embedded in
Oh
it?
my
It was
God,
embedded
both
in
are
it,
good.
but
Yeah.
when it was coming out, I'm sitting there thinking, that card comes off, I can trade it. The card does not come off.
No.
The card does
not
Yeah.
come off.
There were two other things. There was a little sheet of stickers and the armband you were talking
The
about.
armband, yeah, so we
Alright,
did
like
have,
we did
yeah,
not
yeah,
fail.
yeah.
I sense a eBay cut coming.
But you know what, everybody that was probably seen in public with the armband, the rest of the collectors were like, you stupid, you opened the bag.
Yeah,
You're not supposed to open the bag.
You just blew your college education,
it's
kid.
going down the drain, Monfrere, until Ronnie came along and bought it off eBay from them. Yeah.
Or no, just reseal it. Put the stuff back
Just
in.
put it back in, nobody's gonna care. I really don't even care if it was in the black bag, I'd probably still buy that stuff again.
It's
Oh,
so weird.
yeah, I just
It's crazy
want that
stuff.
everything.
Nostalgia, you know, the things that are getting your
I
head.
wonder if there, there has to be still black bag editions. What occurred to me as a kid, after I figured I could just reseal it, I was like,
He's
wait a
sitting there with like a teapot, like.
Yeah. After I took it out, I was looking at it, I was like, this is cool. And then it occurred to me, most people wouldn't reopen it who bought it. I was like, I don't have to put this comic back in. I could keep it and put some Ninja Turtle comic in there. Archie,
And
reseal it.
he's
Oh
got a
my
comic book
God.
Ponzi scheme going on.
Sell it
There's
on,
this guy out there that's like, okay, I'm gonna die in 48 hours, and this has been my prized possession
Yeah.
my whole life, and I've always said I'll never open it, I'll be buried with it, but today's that day. Archie Comics? Jughead? What? John McClane!
Now it's Jughead meets the Ninja Turtle. That's very valuable.
It's very valuable. Speaking of which, you know, I was just walking through the store the other day and I saw that they had this DVD sitting out and it was Batman and the Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Have you watched this yet?
Oh, I wanna see
Not
that.
yet. I wanted to get it. Haven't been able to get that one yet, and it's not on the DC streaming app yet either.
But it's still under Bruce Timm as like the producer of all this stuff.
I believe so. Not exactly too sure. Can you look that up?
What was the question?
Batman and the Ninja Turtles new animated DVD movie, straight to release.
But I know it's based off the comics.
Warner Brothers Animation.
It's IDW did, like DC and IDW partnered up and they did them, which I've heard nothing but good things about. Batman and Ninja Turtle crossovers.
Really?
I did see a clip of it. It was, I believe it was Batman versus the Shredder.
I saw that
And
too.
it was pretty cool.
It's
Like, they're kinda-
There's not a whole lot to even be said about
Yeah.
that.
But here's the thing though, it's like you think it's like, oh, this is gonna be for kids, until Shredder plants a shuriken in someone's forehead.
Yeah, well,
Now it's like
see,
you see that and like blood going everywhere.
Ninja
like,
Turtles back in
there
the
we
day
go.
was not
Those
for kids
kids.
though.
Oh, I know.
It was not, no.
Kids can take a lot
Right.
more today.
They can't, well, I
They
don't
can take a
know.
shuriken to the head.
Can they?
Yeah.
They're just okay.
Here,
with
go
it.
one that kid. They're pretty tough. You know?
They're resilient.
Yeah,
Scott, the next time we
They'll
come over
heal.
to your house, you just might want to get Noah prepared, because
We got some experimentation to do.
Yeah, we gotta see how tough.
Yeah.
He's a black belt
If
now.
they survive,
Like, what if he catches
yeah.
it with his teeth? You know, like that.
then we all run away.
Yeah, just get out
I
there.
do have shurikens and batarangs.
Alright.
Ronnie, what was your question about Batman versus
I want
Teenage
the
Mutant Ninja
battery.
Turtles?
Yeah, who was the producers of that?
Is
Or
that
who
still,
were
is that still
the
Bruce
producers?
Timm doing the Warner Brothers animation lot?
Let's see, production companies, Nickelodeon, Warner Brothers Animation, Warner Home
Okay, so-
Video, DC Entertainment Incorporated.
Okay, so it's partnered up. Okay.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, have you seen these DC animated movies?
I mean, I've seen a few of the movies, the older ones. I haven't seen many of the newer ones. Most of my knowledge from the DC side of comic books actually comes from Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
Oh, no, but have you seen the
man.
straight renditions of storylines? I mean, they have like The Dark Knight Returns. And it's split in two parts as a DC.
Oh, I have
animated
seen that.
movie.
I've seen that.
It's
That's
amazing.
fantastic.
When he's sitting there beating the crud out of the mutant boss, and he's like, "This is my operating room, and I'm a surgeon, and I'm gonna surgically
Surgeon.
beat,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's a lot of cussing he does there."
Or when the Joker does the thing he does.
Right with Batgirl.
Well, no, I wasn't thinking
That
that.
one?
I was thinking like
They had that one.
when he basically. I don't want to give away spoilers here.
Oh, spoilers alert! If you're
Yeah,
watching our
spoilers.
show,
Yeah.
you're gonna get spoiled on a lot of spoilers. I mean,
Yeah.
ensuing episodes are
Yeah,
gonna
I
be a
guess
lot
so.
about us
I
talking
guess so.
about what we like. And
Well, like when he essentially commits suicide.
Right.
How he does.
with
That
Batman
was-
Returns, yeah.
yeah, that was
when he
terrifying.
breaks his own neck and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to say, it's like the guy that did the voice for him, that was absolutely terrifying.
He
It
did a
was
good job.
Yeah, and he was, I know it's the guy from Lost and Person of Interest. Sorry, the name escapes me right now.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Well, there we go. We
Got
have an
it.
idea of what we're all talking
Oh,
about.
we got a guy.
and
We got a guy. He's gonna look up the name of the guy.
We gotta keep the guy
Yeah.
busy, because what if the guy just
Dark
had
Knight
nothing to do?
Returns, look up the voice actor for the Joker.
The
Good face.
Joker.
Or what's it? Who did he play in Lost?
He was.
He played Michael, I think.
Michael.
Michael.
Michael?
We're not talking about the guy that used to be on like Party of Five, are we?
No.
No.
No, I thought you were talking about the guy with the
Yeah.
glasses.
Are we
Yeah,
talking
it's
about the guy that
glasses.
was
I
in
can't remember
Wolverine
his-
Origins?
I can't remember his
I
name.
don't remember it either. Linus.
Linus?
Linus.
I think
Is he?
Linus.
Is he the
Ben
guy with
Linus, I
the
think?
British accent?
No, it's a guy with the really big eyes.
He's in,
He has glasses.
he's in Person of Interest.
You know who's lost now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the guy behind the computer.
Yeah.
It's always like hacking into stuff, and he's like, Henry Cavill, go kill this. Yeah. He was the Joker.
Yeah, that was him.
I had no clue.
I-
Kind of like
I-
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I know.
Who knew for years that he was the Joker on the animated series?
I knew.
I had never caught on to that.
In fact, I was thinking about this the other day. Mark Hamill's really big right now again, which is great. I love Mark Hamill.
Good for you, Mark.
But he did like a kind of a
Michael
faux
Jackson.
documentary.
That's why I
years
thought his
ago
name was Michael,
called
was his
Comic
actual
Book
name.
the
Thank
Movie.
you.
Have you ever seen that? Comic Book the movie.
I
Have you seen it?
have not.
Mark Hamill. I think I'm right about this. But he did like kind of like a it's like a documentary, but it was more like a Christopher Guest kind of documentary. It wasn't.
See, for
Parts of it
me,
seem
movies that I
restricted.
remembered him from, there's this old movie, and
He did
you
it.
may know what I'm talking about. Had Mark Hamill in it, maybe 5 minutes. It's called The Guyver.
Of course I remember the guy.
Oh, man, it's just such a good movie.
And
It's
that-
just
of course
like
I had
weird
David-
alien armor attaches to this kid, blades
Yeah.
grow out of his elbows, he starts killing monsters galore.
I'm aware of it. I just haven't seen
Just awesome. But it had Mark Hamill, so that's why I got into it, because it was like Sci-Fi Channel was like, and this movie's coming up, starring Mark
it.
Hamill.
What about like Corvette Summer? Did you watch that? Corvette Summer, starring Mark Hamill. Yeah, it was right after
I gotta
Star
check
Wars.
this
I
out.
think.
Really? I don't know. I remember him in that really funny version of the Jay and Silent Bob movie where he was the
Yeah, I
the
don't.
cockknocker
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
with the big fist.
I
And
remember that. Well, he was also in that Flash
Yeah.
TV series in the '90s.
was
Trickster.
and in a new
And he
one, right?
reprised his role in the current Flash.
Mhm.
But was he in a movie called Slipstream? I feel like it's a science fiction movie. I feel like he was in that.
I'm not sure.
Could you look that up?
Slipstream person?
Yeah.
I feel like we're giving him a lot of work to do today.
Oh, you're just sitting there.
I feel like he thought, once my brainchild is born and I put these guys in front of the camera, Tony's automatic lust for Starlight will just carry this through, and yet my fingers are bleeding because I'm looking up so much stuff for you.
Slipstream 1989.
Yeah. Mark Hamill on that.
Yes, Mark Hamill was in it.
My memory.
He
Way
played
to go.
Casper.
Amazing.
See, you were in. Oh, I
You
knew
got
it.
Corvette Summer, Slipstream, all fantastic movies. You got the Guyver, and then Comic Book the movie. Go have a Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill Day. The next time May 4th comes around, instead of just doing what all your friends are doing, watching all of the Star Wars movies, just watch the original 3 and then watch Corvette Summers.
It's Corvette
Slipstream.
Summer, Slipstream, the
Guyver.
Guyver. And
Good luck with that. You probably have to, go ahead and get that off Amazon.
And I think Comic Book the
You
movie
will.
too. Check
Yeah.
that out.
Not
Comic Book
even
the
digital.
movie. I mean, I've been pretty good with my memories track record, so.
Yeah. He's not in Guyver 2 though.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
But that one, you can get digital.
Mark Hamill was in Comic Book the movie as well.
I think he like
And he,
produced it. Like it's his baby. I think he did all.
Yeah, director.
Directed
He's
it.
also listed as director.
He's
I
actor.
got Mark, look. See, we're
You
learning
haven't
things
seen
about
it?
this
You
guy.
haven't
No,
seen
I
it?
haven't seen
It's
this.
comic.
I
book
gotta look this
movie.
up.
Yeah.
This is
And
amazing
producer.
stuff we're learning here.
You don't.
Yeah.
We came to educate, and what did we do? We learned.
I want to watch.
Because that's what happens when you join minds together. You assimilate knowledge, and you learn things. And what's the point of life if not learning from each other, from literature, from everything that we do, everything that we see? And I think that's one of the biggest things for me about comic books was I always found, aside from learning about theoretical physics, different things that I never would have been introduced to because I never would have gone to college, still haven't, and different languages. I remember the first time I saw this little blue elf poof onto a panel, and he says, "Mein Gott," and it's like, well, what does that mean? I've got to go ask my stepdad. Hey, Bill, what does "Mein Gott" mean? Well, sit down, boy, and I'm going to educate you on the German language. And I got a whole lot of education from him on the German language. Now, granted, the comic book was just a segue to talk to my stepdad, and then for him to educate me about a lot of things that he knows. But you learn those little things. Like I'm on the phone today, called this lady, hey, I'm gonna come by your house, gonna do some service on your lawn. I just wanted to let you know she's from Moscow. She's a very strong Russian accent. So we're hanging out, and she says, well, you have a good day. And I said, "До свидания," and hung up. Why not? Why not do some things like that? And I think that that's what enriched my life. There was this horrible crackpot of a psychotherapist back in the 80s and 70s and 80s who released a document saying that if your children were reading comic books, it was breaking down their mental synapses until they would no longer be functioning adults. They were retarded to their youth.
Is this the origin of the comic book code?
I mean, a lot of things came out because of this guy, but that guy literally put out a very well-renowned paper saying that comic books were just horrible. And much like any other propaganda device that's ever come out and been full of crap, it caught wind and people started looking at things differently. Oh, that's horrible. You shouldn't let your kid be sitting there reading that comic book. He's not his brain, And so everybody caught on to it until there was like a stigmatism to it. Now, for me, growing up in high school, it was me, back corner of class, comic book in the textbook.
Classic.
Yeah, oh yeah, and drawing a picture, like I got a lot of my drawing done in school.
Oh yeah. My notebooks were full of doodles.
Oh yeah, thanks Coach Reed, because your algebra class was amazing. I didn't learn a lot of algebra, but I got a lot of art done, and you gave me some positive critiques on that. Like that about you. He always told me, hey, why are their hands always like this? Maybe you should turn this way. It seems a little bit more natural. What if they did that? What if they weren't going to punch somebody?
Yeah, always a little.
He always tested me. And it's like, you know what, Coach Reed? You're awesome. Bartlett High School. Coach Reed, look him up. Great guy.
Your style, just always like this.
Yeah, but I didn't want to grow up to be a Layfield.
Yeah. Oh no.
I didn't.
Come on, that's.
I'm sorry, Layfield. I just didn't want to.
You can do that. Chooses not to.
He strongly chooses not to. And it's like, okay.
I mean, I
All of his
understand
characters
that-
have to do the sway because their ankles
I
are
kind
all
of
real
miss
tiny.
that '90s kind
flair.
dynamic flair, you know, and you know, I understand where people are coming from on Rob, but I love his work.
I just don't see why he had to. Okay, now, at the end of the day, to me, okay, Image Comics. If you just want to break into that for a second,
okay.
one of the greatest things that happened in the '90s when you were pretty young, when I was pretty young, you were probably a little bit
I
older
was still
after
old,
Vietnam.
Yeah.
But you probably came back from Vietnam. You were looking for something a little unique to get into.
And something flashy, you know,
Yeah.
something to distract me from, you know, the PTSD.
Exactly, exactly. So, in all due respect to actual veterans, but when you picked up Image Comics, to me, Jim Lee stuff, Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane, they're what got everything. I really believe that. I mean, it was Spawn and the Wildcats, man.
Wildcats. Oh man, that was a fun cartoon too.
Now Larson with Savage Dragon, that was really good too. It was just a little bit more quirky.
I like Larson's style.
I wasn't in the mood for quirky at that time in my life. I was in the mood for serious utility belts, pouches everywhere. Give me some more pouches.
Well, there's Rob Liefeld for you.
Yeah. So I liked his idea to invent the pouch, and
He invented
that
the
was
pouch.
he invented the pouch for everybody to wear. But then
Yeah,
other people did
Deadpool
it better.
pouches, you know. Like,
Everybody just did it better, and that's okay. I don't. You know what? Thank you for wanting to mock, Deathstroke and giving it pouches. That's great. I appreciate that about him. I like Deadpool drawn by other people. It's nothing personally against him. It's not an attack. I'm not saying he's a horrible human being. I'm not.
Oh, he's pretty nice.
He
Nice guy.
seems like an okay guy. I have different styles in mind when I want to look
I
at something.
will say,
Greg
like-
Capullo, Jim Lee, those are guys that I want to see their dynamic work.
Greg Capullo is like more of an illustrator, you know. He's really talented.
His panel
Great
work
anatomy.
is extreme.
Yeah.
It's so extreme. He had an issue where he
It's not
actually had
technically
to-
extreme. That's Rob Liefeld's.
Right. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg Capullo is technically just an extreme individual. He is out there in his talent and his ability to bend your eye towards panel structure, towards linear storytelling. It's fantastic. I've never seen anybody else use shadow and work the way that he has. And that's
he
just
approaches it like an illustration project.
He does. He's just top notch in my opinion. There aren't many people that the way that he did Spawn, the way that he did Batman. He's just, I kind of want to leave it there. I kind of want to say that Greg Capullo today is each episode we're gonna have a hero of the episode, and I've just dictated that Greg Capullo is the hero of
You
this
just
episode.
dictated.
I dictated that.
Yeah,
This is a
it's-
tyranny. That's why I get the special chair, and you get to be comfortable.
I thought we were gonna like
No,
switch.
no, I
at some
keep you
point.
comfortable. If you want to sit here next time,
Maybe.
we'll see. We'll see what happens when John McClay sits in the hot seat. But if you want to find out, you have to come back at the same Turn the Page time on the same Turn the Page channel. And remember that this is a Saturday Night Gaming production. And like, subscribe, share with your grandmother, and coerce all of your friends to tune in. Check it out. Give us a try. You'll fall in love with us. We're like barnacles. We will grow on you. And until next time, true believers, keep reading, keep loving, and keep living. Thank you for joining us.